Let's take a look next at some of the other features of the app. We've already gone over panels. We can, if we like, press plus, and then we can add the pre-flight central box panel. We can give it a different image. You can see here that that's the selected panel. So that's the one that's going to be on the screen if we go look at it. Any of these panels will show up in one of the telemetry windows. So as I think of myself going left to right across the different telemetry windows with the arrows on the transmitter home screen, all of the instrument panel app windows are going to appear in one place. And I like to think of this select process of the panels within the model, because the model can have many, as kind of a vertical direction. So this is the selected panel, but the turbine is the home panel. That's what when the transmitter wakes up, that's where it will be pointing. And so if that's the selected panel, we see that this is a panel that I built. We can go into this more in the future, that I thought would be ideal for pre-flight, because pre-flight is where we can afford to be looking at the screen. So for the Jetty central boxes, they all have a battery 1, a battery 2 voltage and current. And what we would probably do is set the min-max tick markers on the outside perimeter of these gauges. And then what we would do is we would look at the battery voltages both on the gauges and on the screen there, and we would stir our sticks around and move all the controls over their full extent and watch the voltage and the current of the batteries vary and see where those high water marks end up, especially on the two current meters, to make sure we don't have anything that's binding. So let's go back to our application main menu. If we go into settings, we can put in a switch. We can define a switch that will reset the min-max markers if we like, and we can define a switch to rotate through the panels to go from one panel to the next, or we can reset all the app data, forget about all the panels and all the settings that we have. So that's the settings. We've already gone over input. Now, edit panel is kind of interesting, kind of fun. We start out in the selected panel, and you'll see here that what this is going to give you a crosshair showing you which of the elements, the widgets on the screen it's looking at. It'll give you some basic data down here in the gray status bar. And if we hit select, we walk our way through the different widgets that are on the screen. And we can then, once we're in there, let's do this. Let's select the turbine, and then let's go back into edit panel so that we have something to actually look at while we're editing. So let's go over to the RPM gauge. And so the select button will walk you through the different widgets that are on the screen. And then over here, next to it, are the things that are editable. So the center position of the gauge is not editable. It's fixed when the image is drawn on the website. But the value, that's kind of the digital value that's displayed in addition to the needle, can be moved. So for example, right now we'll look at moving it in Y. We can move that up and down in Y. I can change the font of that to be either no font at all, or the different Jetty transmitter fonts. I can take a look at the label, and again, the label, I've selected font here. I can go to different size fonts on that label. I can, if there's a text box that would have text, it's grayed out here. There's the min-max labels. You'll see the battery gauge and the pump gauge, because they don't have a needle. They offer you this little min-max value on the left and the right, so we could vary those if we had them. We have the tick labels themselves, and we can vary the font of the tick labels from crazy to kind of too small to nothing if we want. The bold looks good on this size. The tick spacing, if we want to move the ticks a little bit in or a little bit out, and you see on the status panel it's telling us how we're doing there. We can edit the min and the max. I would caution you though that while we can do that, we have to pick mins and maxes that fit with the ticks that we've laid out, because we can't relay out the ticks without going back to the website. So that's a quick tour, and we can go around and select different things and do different edits. I told you, earlier that we had the ability to edit things. So this is how we would do that here on the transmitter. Okay.